We are in conversation with actor Rana Daggubati and Harsha Vadlamudi, who are the co-founders of a new artisanal tequila brand called Loca Loka. They'll be talking about their plans in the market, and they've raised funds recently. Thank you for joining us today in this conversation. Right, it's been a year since, almost a year since you have entered the artisanal tequila market. Tell us a little bit about how the adoption has been. How do you see the story of the brand building, and also how has the innings been for you as an entrepreneur from actor?
Well, there are three questions in that, but okay, let me answer one by one in some ways. First, I think we're very happy with the way Loca Loka has been received, because one is we've entered in a global market. We've entered in a place where tequila is already mature. There have been a lot of drinkers. There's a lot of culture around it, and the fact that we're Indian founders in some ways, building something between fusing Indian and Mexican culture and bringing it out. I think that was phenomenal. We've reached our mark of number of bottles that we wanted to sell across this time by March, and now we are available in the US in major states. We are available in Singapore, in Philippines. We'll be out in England and a bunch more countries. So I think it's been a great run so far.
Right. Tell us a little bit about your journey as well. How do you enjoy your entrepreneur side? Is that something that occupies a lot of your time?
Well, I was on the desk before I was an actor, and I continued the desk job for a longer period of time. The actor is always more popular, so that's what you get to see. But my job is in storytelling, and the fact that here we could expose two cultures and create a product, I think was why I'm inside of it.
You guys have also recently raised some funds. That's been almost 9-8 months into the business. Tell us, what is this fundraising aimed at? What is majorly, how are you looking to deploy these funds? Where will the major chunk of it go?
So we recently raised quite a bit of funds from the family offices in Singapore. So majority of the portion is going to go into the global expansion. Right now we are in USA and Singapore. We have grounded the product, but Philippines, the LOI has already come in. UK, the paperwork is happening. So there are a lot of countries which we have to yet to be grounded, and majority of the portion is going to get into the marketing side of it, and building a global brand, and building a global team around it to execute this project.
How do you see the appetite growing? You both travel a lot internationally, as you mentioned, it's picking up. But what's the kind of segment that you think this artisanal brand can actually make its name? Where does the moat come from? Because the market is also getting crowded now.
See, even in markets that alcohol is not on the rise, tequila is still on the rise, and in countries like India and others, it's on an extreme rise. If you see growth year on year, it'll be close to 20 to 40% in that kind of growth, because we're still very new. There will be brands when there is a certain sector growing. There will be a handful that will last and a handful that don't. But we've been pretty much first in the market. We've built the product almost 2.5 years ago, from testing to where the product is now today. So we have a product that's pretty phenomenal. Anytime we were at an award show, we kept winning for taste and for the quality of the liquid. So I think that's just something that our product will always speak first before us, and the fact that it'll stand as a unique positioning product even across once there'll be many more. And I always will welcome competition, because only then it becomes a real culture.
Would you like to call out the specific markets that you'd be entering, say, in the next 12 to 18 months? Where do you see the highest appetite? I know that global is something you're aiming at broadly, but give us some markets.
So the majority would be, right now we let us take the USA market, which would be 40% of our global sales. We are projecting it to be. Right now we started off with 5 states. Right now we are in 11 states, and by mid of April we'll be in 18 states. So the first priority in the next couple of years is to completely get all the 50 states of USA on board. That's our primary target, and the majority revenue also, 40 to 45% of the revenue will be generated from there, and rest 60% goes to global. And right now we are in Singapore. In Southeast Asia we are already in Singapore, and we are getting into Philippines, and Indonesia would join mid of this year. Then in the UK and Europe markets, we are doing the UK market by June, July, and end of this year, I think we'll add up 2 more European markets. In GCC, we are doing the Dubai in somewhere in mid of July to end of August, and India would be end of this year. Most probably by October, November, depending on the paperwork and all the compliance is completed in India, it would be somewhere in between October and November.
Would you bank on your celebrity status for the success in India? Do you think that plays a major factor? Because we see a lot of celebrities getting into the entrepreneurship world and creating their own brands.
Well, it's a start to communication, definitely. And whether it's myself and Anirudh, who's not here today, but I think storytelling in music will always create an edge over any ad or anything that you're trying to create. But I think it's ultimately that's only a foot through the door. It's the product that will eventually speak.
Also, a little bit on the R&D part that you mentioned, I read about it. So what exactly are the innovations that we can expect in this space? Because you purely operate on being different.
So, to be precise, for the Indian markets, see, additive free is a big stuff which is happening in the Western world, which is not yet into the eastern side of the world. But right now, what we can watch for is that our brand will be 100% additive free. We are not adding any of the things like glycerin or for taste enhancers or the color gradings, stuff like that, which other brands are already doing it. All the big brands which are in India, which are into the markets. But that is the first differentiator which we can watch for. And at the WSWA this year in Colorado, we won like a couple of awards for the Blanco and Reposado, which speaks for itself that we are on a additive-free journey, and the product is liked by the trade already.
Any new variations you'll be bringing in?
Yes, the Anejo is in making. I think in May we are launching in Vegas and Miami, where Rana and Ani also would be part of the launch. And we are doing it on May 2nd in Vegas and May 4th in Miami. Anejo variant will be launched by then. And by next year, we are also doing an extra Anejo. And there is a Founders Edition coming in, which we will announce it in the May Anejo launch.
One last question. What's your favorite drink for you guys when it comes to tequila? Who do you drink and go like, oh shit, this is good competition?
Nothing yet. That's why we built a Reposado. That's so awesome.
That's a diplomatic characteristic. And what's your?
So I would say there are certain very boutique brands in Mexico and in America where I mean they are built on the product wise. I think we can compete. Our product can compete with any of them. But as a brand wise, which has already been built from past 5 years or 6 years, there is a brand called Fortaleza, which is like very unique and on the branding side and on the product side also. I think we can be, our product can be compared with them, but that is the brand which I look up to for gaining traction and like someday cross that brand.
These were the questions we had for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
As the artisanal liquor market picks up in India, we see actor Rana Daggubati entering the space with his co-founder, and they have more plans to make India brand global. With camera person Govind, this is Haripriya for NDTV Profit.